Welcome, everyone, to our regular weekday morning podcast on Kabbalah for Heretics. With me, your heretic in chief, Yakov, Leib, HaKohain. I want to mention, as I do from time to time, that is my real Hebrew name. That's not some name I invented when I decided to be a Kabbalist. I was born into my Jewish family of Kohanim, priests, and given that name, Yakov, Leib, HaKohain, by my parents. And I've had it all my life. Now, they also gave me an American name, which was Lawrence, Larry. Now, that was very common back then, that a boy and a girl were given two names when they were born, one a Hebrew name, and the other an American name, an English name. So I didn't make this Yaakov Leib HaKohain up. I'm very, very proud to have it and that it was given to me. And by the way, the full name is Yaakov Leib ben Moshe HaKohain, the heart of Jacob, son of Moshe, Moses, the Kohen. Anyway, they just thought I'd bring that up again for those of you who've never heard me say it. I'm kind of a little contemptuous of people who make up Hebrew names for themselves, or Hindu names, whatever. So I just want everyone to know that that is not a made-up name. I've had it all my 82 years. Baruch Hashem, thank God. Well, let's get back into the Zohar, which we have been, get ready, for the past 30 years, every weekday morning, studying, volume by volume, cover to cover, page by page, sentence by sentence, and doing that over the past 30 years, every morning, we have gone through cover to cover, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and are now into volume 5. We just recently started volume 5. So let's get back to where we left off in our last podcast. Up till now, it's been talking about, at first very obliquely, but in the last podcast very specifically, about leprosy. But not just the actual disease of leprosy, but what it symbolically is. We come now to a passage that it is going to comment on. And if a man's hair be fallen off his beard, not very mystical, is it? But you'll see it is. This is why you cannot read, really, you cannot read and truly understand the written Torah, the Bible, the Old Testament, without knowledge of the oral Testament, because it explains what looks like it doesn't need to be explained. I hope you understand. And if a man's hair be fallen off his head, Rabbi Chia cited here the verse, then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as light excelleth darkness. Let me point something out. During my essentially internship with my great mentor, James Kirsch, the lifelong friend and student of Carl Gustav Jung, I think at least once, maybe twice, he told me when we were working on a dream of mine, that hair in a dream is symbolic of wisdom. And look here, that's exactly what it says in the Zohar. Now, one of the reasons for that is because I'm sure Jung pointed that out, but James was a great student of the Zohar. I consider my work with him to be my work with the Zoharic master, as was Jung. So then it says, and if a man's hair be fallen off his head, and that is going to be a reference in the Zohar to the fact that hair is wisdom, symbolic of wisdom. Long, and I'm going to quote James, long thoughts growing out of the brain. Huh? Rabbi Chia here cited the verse, then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as light excelleth darkness. Where, he said, is the great wisdom in this remark of King Solomon? Does not anyone, even one who has no wisdom himself, know that wisdom is superior to folly, as light is to darkness? And why, therefore, does Solomon say, then I saw? You see what the Zohar is doing? It's taking this rather simple, plain, and highly understandable scripture, and if a man's hair be fallen off his head, it's now pulling it apart, unpacking it, and revealing its inner hidden mysteries. First, by quoting Solomon, who said, then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as light excelleth darkness. And it asks, where is the great wisdom in this remark of King Solomon's? That wisdom excelleth folly, as light excelleth darkness. It says everyone knows that. Does not everyone, even one who has no wisdom himself, know that wisdom is superior to folly, as light is to darkness? And also, it says, why does Solomon say, then I saw? Then I saw. I'll bet you didn't catch that. Rabbis don't catch it. Why does he say, and then I saw? Something physical was happening, or at least spiritually physical. And then I saw, and that's, why does he say then I saw? The truth is that what is meant is that there is an excellence to wisdom from folly itself. Let me repeat that. Then I saw. The truth, however, is that what is meant, now listen, is that there is an excellence or profit to wisdom from folly itself. Now, I know you say, oh, I know that. I know everything is in everything else. No, you didn't know it until you just heard it. You didn't know it this deeply. So stop clogging up your brain with your thoughts of, oh, I know that, I knew that. Because that's a sure way to not hear what's being said in the Zohar. You may know something a little bit like that, but thinking that therefore you know it prevents you from knowing it truly. The truth, however, is that what is meant is that there is an excellence or profit to wisdom from folly itself. For if there were no folly, wisdom and its words would not be recognized. Huh? In order to have wisdom, there must first be folly, otherwise you're not going to recognize what is wisdom. There is value even in the negative. Great value. The problem is we do not understand or accept that. What we try to do is to avoid the negative, avoid ignorance, avoid sin. Where the only way to really understand and know its opposite is to enter into it. A man comes to a castle, It's a very evil castle, he can tell. But there is a precious jewel in there that he wants. So how does he get that jewel? By entering into the evil castle, taking hold of the jewel, and leaving. Huh? This is not just true of folly. Conquer the sin by being the sin. This is where, and other places, this is where our neo-sabbatian teaching comes from. That and from its applied meaning. To literally, virtually, enter the sin, virtually, not literally. To virtually enter the sin in order to conquer the sin. But to do that, you have to enter it with that kavanah. You don't enter the sin to have a good time. You don't enter the sin to get off. And then later say, oh, I did that in order to conquer it. No. During the entry into the sin itself, you must, with total intention, be doing it in order to conquer it, not to enjoy it. Therefore, kavanah, intention, is as always everything. We have learned that it is incumbent on a man, when he learns wisdom, to learn a little folly also. God damn. This is essential neo-sabbatian Kabbalah, and we practice it. We don't just talk about it. And we practice it virtually, not literally. Theurgically. Listen again. The truth is, however, that what is meant is that there is an excellence or profit to wisdom from folly itself. For if there were no folly, wisdom and its words would not be recognized. We have learned that it is incumbent upon a man, when he learns wisdom, to also learn a little folly, since there is a certain benefit to wisdom from it, as there is no light from darkness. Now, yes, you undoubtedly have ideas like this, but not as specifically like this. So, again, don't block your channel of communication by thinking to yourself, you know this. Just shut up the ego and listen, because you're going to hear a refinement to what you think you already know. I mean, it's extraordinary. Yeah, you know that good comes from evil and evil from good and all that, but that's not what it's saying. It's saying that to have wisdom when you're acquiring it, you must also acquire a little folly. Acquire it. Practice it. At the same time you're acquiring wisdom and practicing it. Huh? We have learned that it is incumbent upon a man, when he learns wisdom, to learn a little folly also, since there is a certain benefit to wisdom from folly, as there is to light from darkness. Huh? I think we'll stop there. That's the kind of statement that makes teaching the Zohar and studying the Zohar, for me, so worthwhile. I hope you understand why. Mark my place, and we'll continue this in our next podcast. In the meantime, let me ask my two helpers, David and Yeshai, who are here to record, edit, and post this podcast to our channel on YouTube. Let me ask them if they have any comments or questions. so that they can fill in for all of you listening. Both guys do. All right. Go ahead. David, you shy? By all means, type your question. Excuse me. All right. There we go. David, as NASA calls it, quote, negative successes, unquote. Learning from folly. Everything is contained in this part. For if there were no folly, then wisdom in its words would not be recognized. The only way we know what is folly is to enter into it, conquer the sin by being the sin virtually, with the right intention, kavana. Intention is, as always, everything. Beautiful, David. Perfect. Thank you. That's wonderful. You really got it. Yeshaya, go ahead. Thanks, David. Okay, here we go. Yeshai. So powerful. Core, neo-sabbatian essentials. Gone to depths never before plumbed. There's a certain benefit to wisdom from folly itself. Acquire folly a bit with wisdom, but do it with intention, kavana. Folly being necessary to even understand wisdom in the first place. Oh, that is so great. The two of you. What wonderful comments. Thank you so much. I hope that serves to clarify any questions that some of the listening audience may have. It certainly should. Thank you. Well, now we go to what we do every podcast. At the end of every podcast, we recite the ritual Kaddish, the prayer for the dead, in honor of the memory of and to lift up the soul of our beloved friend, fellow Kohen and Tzaddik, Leonard Cohen. Eliezer, this is for you. Yiskadal v'yiskadal shmei abo, bomo divro chirusei v'yamlich malchusei, b'chayachon of yom echon of chaye dechol beis Yisrael, bagala of Yisman korev yimnu amen. Yehi shmei ramo mivarach le'olam me'el maya, yisbarach v'yishtabach v'yispo'ah v'yisomam, v'yisnasei v'yishadav v'yisalei v'yisal, shmei dekutsha b'richu, Leilon min chol birchasa v'shirasa tishvachasa v'nechemasa. Damiran bomo v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya. V'chayinu aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mamov hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Let everyone please say amen. And let me point something out. This Kaddish that I always say is an example of virtual reality. Let me explain. Because I know the Kaddish by heart, I can, as I recite it, close my eyes and visualize Leonard, as I knew him, standing there in that one photograph of him, with his left hand extended almost as if and bless all who are looking at it. I, in my mind's eye, extend. That's theurgy. Do you understand, the two of you who are here? Am I being clear about that? I think it's a perfect example of it. Again, just to brag a little, the only reason I can do it virtually in that way is because I know the Kaddish by heart. If I were reading it from the Hebrew words, I would not be able to virtually visualize Leonard standing there with his left hand extended. All right, thank you very much, and thank you for the amen. Now it's time to end. Until our next podcast. Until then, Yivarechecha